For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Camping and Leisure with me, Mike. Today, guys, a bit of a review on a lovely updated product from Vango. This here is the Vango Galli 3. So the Galleys in terms of style hasn't really changed over the years, but always Vango with making sort of new and better editions of it. So the Galley 3, the main kind of headline news essentially is the fabric is sort of completely different in one sense. Essentially, it's made to be more durable. So nowadays, we're not really talking about kind of denier, i.e. sort of the thickness of the thread, mainly because it's not as accurate from manufacturer to manufacturer. Whereas now we're talking about sort of weight of the fabric per square meter, which for this is brilliant. You know, normal fabric you probably expect it to be around about sort of 60 grams. Here you're talking 108 grams per square meter, and then also it's got double ripstop running through it. So again, it's a very structurally strong fabric, and also with that ripstock isolates any points. If you were to get a small little nick, it's not going to carry on anywhere. But the Galley is a really nice driveway awning, and yet again, more importantly, it's now got colour lock built into it. So colour lock is something that's Vango has sort of pattern painted, and essentially means that it locks the colour of the fabric in, but also makes it last longer. So it means that you can have the same kind of weight fabric as the Galley was previously, but it's going to last now twice as long as that was anyway. So it, like I said, really makes denier kind of completely irrelevant now. It's a more measurable way of actually looking at it. The Galley, like I said, is a really nice driveway awning. I've just got it pitched on its own here, and I've just basically removed the guy ropes, just the main four corners, just to kind of show you a bit more about it. Generally, we do a pitching and packing video on this particular item as well, and you check out our own Attwoolls videos. It took myself on my own about 12-13 minutes to put this up on a motorhome. There is also the version of a Galley Compact to be aware of as well. Same kind of idea, just one section less, which personally I think for the price differences, I would definitely go and look for the Galley rather than the Compact. But you can check out the Compact video that we've got as well for the 2019 season. Generally, the joys of the Galley is obviously it's a driveway awning, it freestands, it's very quick and easy to put up, like I said, but each beam is done individually. And it's got Vango's airspeed valves located on the external part here that makes it very easy to put up, but also, more importantly, very easy to get back down. A new update for the 2019 season now is actually that the bag, rather than being like a drawstring bag at top, it's now like an open cargo bag, which makes it a hell of a lot easier getting things in rather than trying to stuff it in. It means mostly you can sort of flip it over the top, zip it up, and then compress it quite happily. Joys of the Galley again is you've got a nice canopy area at the front, but then a main sort of living area which we'll look into a bit later on with a sewn-in ground sheet. Loads of ventilation as well throughout the tent, not only with mesh doors on both sides, but low-level ventilation mesh beneath the main window, as well as another mesh panel at the back as well. Beautiful PVC windows allow you to get plenty of light inside the awning, but then you've also got privacy curtains, what we'll have a look at shortly as well. Generally, I said you've got a really nice heavy-duty webbing storm straps at the front and the back to get really nice good tension throughout of it as well, and get that sort of roof looking really nice and crisp and taut. And generally, yet again, you've got nice sort of reflective guy ropes along with Vango's line lock system, yet again, to make it very easy to adjust it as you want to. The open canopy is actually a quite nice area. You can actually put sort of table and chair, well, sort of certainly chairs out here on the evening and relax out here when you're not next to your motorhome or camper van. And yet again, a mesh panel door on the front here allows circulation without having sort of bugs and critters coming in as well. Generally, the Galley is really good. It comes with some really nice heavy, strong rock pegs, as well as a mallet as well. So yet again, you're not necessarily just getting the basic stuff with it. You also got thrower straps which are supplied with it. So if you wanted to connect to your vehicle, just throwing the straps over the top and pulling up too, that's a good way of going to. Alternatively, you have got your normal methods of like a cater system, so buying a fixing kit to allow you to fix it onto anything. There's also a sleeve. If you want a gutter rail, you can clamp that with a pole into the gutter. And yet again, on the attachment, there's still sort of doors front and back, which means you can actually enter the vehicle without having to go through the awning every single time. A pump is also supplied as well. It is a dual action hand pump, and the joys of this, it can be used on inflate and deflate just by merely taking off the valve, sort of the pressure gauge on the deflate function. But generally, really nice simple awning, easy to go up, and actually the new colour, which is almost like a sort of like a a two-tone grey, I think makes it look smarter. I think the black kind of contradicted the niceness of the grey a little bit. And I think really that two-tone really does have to make a big difference. But let's talk through a few more features about the Galley as we have a look on the inside. So now inside the Galley, you can kind of get a bit more of a feel for certainly the size and more importantly the layout of the actual driveway awning itself. The first thing you can see probably a bit clearer from this angle is the actual canopy depth. And like I said, you could actually put a sort of a chair or a small little table out here and have a great sort of coverage against sort of the elements. Beautiful big PVC windows around the whole awning, so you can get really great clarity out of there. But certainly on the inside as well, like I said, you've got the benefit of having a privacy curtain, which zips up and zips down, so you get a really great coverage. But more importantly, it just makes it much easier physically get the privacy when you want to, but also the joys of zips is actually you can actually bring it down kind of sort of halfway, fold it over. That way you still allow your light to come through, but then you've also got the privacy down low, so you can still necessarily hide things down here. And that kind of concept comes very much in handy. So when you, on the side panels, for example, you can see the window, so the zips on the inside go all the way up to the window, and then the top sort of sky window allows light to come inside of there. So you can same privacy when you want to, but still allows a good amount of light in as well. All the windows on the inside can literally just roll down there like that and just toggle the curtain quite happily away. One thing, like I said, on the outside as well is ventilation. You've got a great amount of ventilation here, not only with sort of low-level ventilation below the window, but also the back here, a nice ventilation panel, helps circulate the air and keep it sort of fresher and a bit cooler on the inside as well as up here as well. Big mesh door as well on the front as well as on the side. Yeah, again, helping that sort of point with keeping that circulation there to keep it sort of help sort of fight condensation really. And more importantly, because these doors as such are rain cupped with the canopy or the side parts onto the vehicle, it means that you don't have to worry about if the rain comes in, the water could come into the main part of the awning. A really nice sewn in ground sheet pretty much goes out for the whole of awning, and then that's makes it kind of feel, you know, almost like a tent, but for the vehicle. And again, you've got sort of necessarily nowhere against sort of bugs and critters coming in, and it really just makes it kind of feel secure, I suppose is probably the best way of saying it. Vango have put their own supersized beams in here, so not only have you got the airspeed system, which is very easy to put up and down, but a stronger, bigger beam helps with sort of again against winds, but also necessarily against sort of just sort of general wear and tear as well. One thing is probably to mention is the different sizes you get with the Galley. So the Galley comes in a low or a tall and also a reverse version. So the main body always stays the same in terms of all the Galleys. It's really just down to the attachment. So whether the normal versions for sort of UK vehicles, where the attachment, you park your vehicle there, front facing that way, back facing that way. Low is designed for low vehicles like T5s or small little bongos, so anything from 180 to 210. Then the tall is basically from about 235 up to about 295 all the way. So you can your more motorhomes or your sort of even lower profiled motorhomes, really depending on the size. Reverse version is exactly the same sort of thing, but I said more orientated to continental vehicles or things like VW Californias, where you've got a sliding door on the driver's side as well as a passenger side, so you can choose where you want it to face. And the joys of that means that essentially rather than the attachment being that side, with the front and back being that way, it's going to be on this side here, and the front's going to be at the front again, and the back's going to be at the back. Alternatively, again, if you were wanting to put it on a normal vehicle but have the tail gate, so if you had a stove or anything, you could lift the tailgate up here and then walk out the front door straight to the tailgate, then that's when the reverse version really comes in handy. For 2019, there's also a new version called the Roans. The Roans basically is a polycotton Galley. So if you know about fabrics, polycotton is a really good way, so it's more breathable, lasts you longer, and generally, you know, in terms of pack size, isn't that big, you know, that much bigger than the normal Galley. So that's a really good one. Check out our own video on that as well as pitching packing videos, as always you expect with us at Attwoolls. Moving back into the Galley itself, like I said, beautiful big PVC windows on that side, but more importantly is one on the interior, so where the attachment is here. So again, you can see necessarily your stuff when you want to, but you've got the privacy as well. And the one thing I probably can't stress more about the difference between the Galley and also then the Galley Compact is merely down to the attachment. So the attachment on the Galley stretches from here to here and goes out the same distance, about 2 meters, 2.5 meters there or thereabouts. So again, the joys of that is you've got a small storage area positioned just behind this window where you can put sort of muddy shoes or a porta potty, just like that. So you've got extra sort of storage area. Whereas the Galley Compact comes at the same distance away from the vehicle, maybe not quite as far as long, but the attachment's only really from here to here. So what you find is you actually create this big tunnel system going from this beams out right out to there to the same sort of 2.5 meter attachments. So really, I think, like I said, for personally, my personal opinion on this is the Galley Compact is okay if you want something a bit smaller, but really, I think for the extra money, it's so worth going for the normal Galley. Okay, is the pack size a little bit bigger, but the amount of room you benefit not only from inside but also outside under cover is kind of a bit of a no-brainer for me. Moving on into if you wanted to, and more importantly, especially if you wanted to sleep people inside of here, then the Galley even is definitely a better model as well, because you can buy an extra 2-person bedroom, which will fit at the back here, and you can buy 2 of them if you wanted to, and put them and sleep 4 people inside the awning. The same bedroom fits to the left as well as the right. You just obviously turn it inside out, so that it could be left-handed or right-handed as well. That's one thing when you look at the Galley Compact, is when you put it in place, it pretty much takes up half your room as well. So you have a small sort of entrance in and straight out the vehicle. Because essentially all the Galley Compact is kind of this point collapsed in. But check out the video if you are interested in that model. You've got our sort of honest opinion about it. The attachment part, obviously here you've got a mesh part into there, but more importantly there's no actual lip in and out of the side attachment door. Joys this means that you can walk seamlessly from the vehicle into the main body without any trip hazards. So unlike the front door where you got here, you've got a slight D door. Yeah, again, that's just kind of more a case to get a better seal on the mesh. Whereas on the side here, it's like a little lip down, and then you've got a separate zip along the bottom. So it's a little bit more fiddly, but it does mean you get a straight door all the way in. Other things to bear in mind as well is Vango's Skytrack system. So it's the ability to hang lanterns pretty much whenever you want to in the vehicle as well. So you've got, yeah, again, it's just a small bit of cable that's stitched onto each side of the beams to give you a hanging point wherever you want it to. And yet again, you can have a lantern hanging there, and then the cable via sky clips going down into the cable entry point just down the bottom here. So it gives you a lot of versatility, as well as also means that you can essentially hang, have a cord draping across the two, have it as a towel rack, but they also do little storage units, which are just little storage pockets that come across there, and that makes it very versatile as well. Generally, what also a thing about the Skytrack is that you can actually have skyliners going between the 2 panels in the roof. Now what it does, it helps with condensation, so it gives you almost like a double glazing effect on the inside of it to give you almost like a pocket of air to make it a little bit warmer as well as cooler depending on where the weather is. But more importantly, it sort of helps trap the condensation a little bit and kind of it's like double glazing for your house. Same kind of principle. Overall, I think the new colour on the Galley really helps to make it look really smart, especially that colour lock thing as well, making the fabric, taking the Galley and making it last longer and sort of essentially fade less over longer periods of time as well. I think kind of is a really huge leap, even though aesthetically it hasn't changed much. I think that embedded into the fabric does make a massive difference. One model we normally have up our indoor display showroom. You should come and see it if you want in the flesh, and always have a go at pitching and packing, sort of using the valve system. We're more than happy to talk you through that as well if you wanted to as well. Alternatively, again, if you need expert advice on measuring vehicles, yeah, again, it's no problem to just bring it on in and we can have a look at it for you. Overall, I think the Galley 3, generally, I think for the price points, it's still very, very keen. And if you look at in comparison to models, it still outspecs it for about the same price point. And yet again, then you get sort of a better value for money because you've got a longer warranty with the Galley as well. So again, you're looking at a 2-year warranty as standard, and then once you buy it for a dealer like us at Attwoolls, you get a 3rd year free once you register it. So that's a really nice option to do. Generally, smart model, plenty of space, and so with the options of the extra bedrooms, you've got really good versatility. But overall, it's just yet again another improvement from as far as Vango is concerned with the Vango Galley 3. So if you'd like to know more about the information, check in the video below. Alternatively, visit our website for all the latest deals that we do, as well as interest-free finance. So that's everything from Attwoolls.